All right. Hi, everybody. Here I am going live. And actually, I want to do a live with my coach friend, Heather London, who is a life coach, helps women master midlife. And because it's International History Month or Women's History Month, we want to talk about how it's never too late to do anything as a woman. Okay, so I'm going to add her. Let's see if you request. And hopefully that will work. Except
Hey,
it worked. See, easier than we thought.
so easy.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
Good, good. Okay, so as I was saying, but we'll introduce ourselves. But as I was saying, because it's International Women's Month or Women's History Month, and we sort of both work with women in our different, ways, midlife women, younger women, and so on. We want to talk about how it's never too late to start anything, because I think it's a great topic, especially for us women, because we have a lot of thoughts about how maybe we're too old, too late, too something to do anything. But first, Heather, introduce yourself. I'll do a quick introduction after, and then we'll chat.
Okay, sounds good. My name is Heather London. I'm a life coach and I help women master midlife. So speaking of never too late, it's like when you hit that age where your kids dump you and don't need you anymore, and now you go and live kind of like the second part of your life and reinvent yourself. So I help women master midlife in all areas: health, wellness, career, life purpose, all of that kind of stuff.
Awesome, cool. And my name is Maggie Pratin. I'm a business and leadership coach. I work with business owners, helping them grow their business, double their business without adding more work. And a lot of my clients are women, somewhere in midlife, and myself, I consider, I guess, myself in that category. And even like when I think about when I came up with an idea of starting my business, I was 39. So kind of like the 40th midlife thoughts, right? Came, and that was one of the things when I realized, oh, okay, like I guess that's my midlife crisis so far, like rethinking what I want to do in my career and coming up with a business. And I definitely didn't believe that it was too late. I might have had those thoughts that it was like, oh, maybe, it's too late to start something from scratch after building a corporate career. But that didn't stop me. Like, what was maybe your experience or experience with your clients when they think about, well, maybe it's too late for me to do X or Y or Z?
That's a great question because it's not even in my awareness that it's too late for anything. I never think that. Like I am almost 55, and if I had to start a new business today, I would think it was a great idea because I don't think age is something that stops us from doing anything that we want. It's just a thought in our brain. So it's never a too late thing. It's more like I don't know how thing, or I don't know how to start or something like that, right? But it's never a too late thing. For example, like when we're in midlife, our kids dump us and now we reinvent ourselves. And am I thinking it's
Mhm.
too late? I'm like, no, because I still have half my life left to reinvent myself and start from scratch if I want to. So I get excited about that.
Well, you know what? Like that was definitely my thought. So even though I had a thought, oh, maybe it's too late, when I started doing the math, especially with my business, then I realized, oh my God, I actually have more years to go in my professional life than I was. Because here was I around 40 thinking, okay, am I gonna leave pretty successful corporate career that I built for the past whatever it was at that time, 15 years? And start something, or should I just prepare for retirement? But then I thought, okay, well, even if I work till 65, that's another 25 years, meaning longer still than what I've done so far, right? And when I started imagining myself 25 years from now, if I really wanted to grow in that path and the corporate path, the answer was no. So that was my logic to say,
Mm.
hey, wait, it's not too late, no matter what we sometimes think. That's like, oh, I'm 40, I'm 50, therefore it's all downhill from there.
Yeah, like you have a whole other lifetime left in you, right? So you
Yeah.
could technically start again from scratch. Now I have a different thinking. I haven't come from like this big corporate background.
Mhm.
I've always been an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
So I'm always reinventing myself, and I see it as a wonderful thing to do and an exciting thing to do, not necessarily a terrifying thing to do. So I'm kind of on the other spectrum of like, yes,
Yeah.
how can we start again like today in this moment even?
Yeah, but you know what? Like you're right. When you're an entrepreneur, like as I became an entrepreneur more and more, I have more of that. I was like, oh, I want to start this. Okay, let's start. Let's do. I actually picked up hip hop not that long ago, like talking about. I know we'll go live a couple more times, and we'll talk about being healthy and eating and so on, how we can help ourselves. But yeah, that's I used to dance when I was a teenager, but it was more like a folk type dancing. Okay, I'm originally Polish. We had this group, we traveled, it was a lot of fun. And at the same time, I hate working out. I really don't like gyms, but I like to be healthy and active, right? So the thought was like, oh, what can I do? Well, dancing would be fun. And around me, there's like hip hop classes. So I'm like, okay, never done this before, but I used to do something else. Let's go. And let me tell you, I'm the oldest in the adult group, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're
What about you? What
probably
have you done maybe like lately? Have you started that you thought like, okay, it's not too late, no matter. And for the record, I'm 45, I'm going to be 46 this year.
okay. First of all, I do hip hop like you,
Oh,
and
you
I'm
do?
the oldest person in the class, and I'm thinking about taking another class. And I had this thought, am I too old to do this? And then I think like everybody in the beginner class is a beginner.
Mhm.
So what's the difference between somebody who's 19 doing it and somebody who's my age doing it? There's no difference except for me thinking that I'm too old to do
Mhm.
it. They're teaching us from the beginning anyway, right? So there
Mhm.
is no difference between the two of us
Mhm.
unless I think there's a difference. But what I did do recently is I dumped my kids and I went traveling because I was finding it really hard to let them go and stop momming them. And so
Mhm.
I just dumped them before they could dump me. And I'm joking when I say that, right? But I went and did my thing because I knew that if I was out living my life and having big, huge adventures, that I
Mhm.
wouldn't be momming them all the time. And it worked. I was so busy, like living this huge, awesome life
Mhm.
that I wasn't concerned or I wasn't taking on that role again of like momming these kids that didn't need to be mommed anywhere more, like when they were,
Yeah.
12 or 10 or 11. And so, like, it's never too late to go out and just travel on your own. I solo traveled and went to Central America, and it wasn't too late for me to do that. It was the perfect time for me to do that. So, a lot of people would think, I'm too old to do that, or it's not,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I didn't see a lot of people my age traveling solo because they're still taking care of their kids. They're still momming their kids,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect example of you could have that mindset of it, oh, it's too late for me to travel on my own to
Mhm.
Central America.
Mhm. So okay, so let's think about it. And just for everybody who's watching this, like life is very impromptu. So we're not very like scripted or none of it. But if you have any questions or want to share something you've done lately that at first maybe you thought, oh, I'm too old to do it, too late, whatever. Let us know in the comments. But let's just to help maybe somebody who is watching or will be watching, if they wanted to do something, whether it's hobby or career wise, whatever in their life, and they're like, you know what, I think it's too late for me, or I'm too old, or whatever the case might be, what would be your 3 tips? And then I will think while you're talking, I'll think of the
Darn it, I
three
gotta go
tips.
first.
I, I will think of what would be my 3 tips for them.
Okay, the first thing that pops into my mind when I'm thinking about doing something is I want to list all the reasons why I would do it or not do it.
Mhm.
And then I look at those different pages. Here's why I do it. Here's why I wouldn't do it. And I highlight all the reasons that I love. And
Mhm.
then you can look at which page has more reasons, right? Like if I say I wouldn't do it because I'm afraid, do I love that reason? No, I don't love that reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then why would I do it? Because it's exciting and I want to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
learn more about this. And then all of a sudden I see like there's a whole bunch of highlights on this page. Then I know that that's something that I definitely want to do.
Very
So that's a,
cool. I
yeah.
like that.
What about
Okay.
you?
Okay, so my tip, especially like when it's too late, the way I sometimes think about it is like, okay, is that something that I want to do because of some goal that I have, whether it's a short-term goal or a long-term goal, something that's important to me. So, for example, hip hop was, I wanted to be healthy and I want to keep in shape for me and my kids as I age. And I want to do it in a way that's fun and not that I hate. Going to the
Yeah.
gym, right? So that was my reasoning. Oh, who cares? So then it's easy, as you say, to say, oh, who cares that I'm the oldest one in the group, right? Like I'm doing it for me. So yeah, that would be that. And especially with my career as well, it was like, oh, I don't want to be in corporate anymore. What are my options? And given that I still have many, many years to go, I better start now, right? So I guess that, like, is that a goal of mine, personal or professional? And whatever it is, it's helping me with that goal, then the age doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Any other
I,
tips?
I love that one. Um, I what I would love to also for our brains to also think of is like where does the too old or too late come from? And that could be most usually it's like a societal construct. And I think as women, we want to break all of those societal constructs and think about from what's best for us and what we want to do and not limitations that have been put on us from other things that aren't us and our imagination and our hopes and our dreams and our passion.
Yes, I love that because you're right. Sometimes that I'm too old, I'm not supposed to, whatever comes from some constructs that we believe that were given to us and so on. So I love that. And I guess my tip would be once you decide to do it, then I would say take the smallest first step, whatever that is, right? Like figure out, okay, how can I start this thing? Maybe it's a research of whatever, travel or hip hop classes, or how do I start a business? And then go to talk to someone, learn from somebody or whatever, take one class, just without commitments, but take the easiest first step and see where it takes you, and from there take the next one and the next one and the next one.
Mhm. And I guarantee you, if you take the hip hop class, and I'm just laughing because I've taken the class, so I'm with you on that. But I guarantee you, if you take the class, you might love it or you might hate it,
Mhm.
but you'll never come out of the class and be like, they told me I was too old. Like that's just not
Yeah.
gonna happen, right? You're never gonna get kicked out of the class because they said you were too old. So we know that.
Yeah, or that you're taking it too late, right? No,
Yes.
you can't take it
Yes.
because it's too late. It's so true. It's so true. Okay. Do you have anything else, like anything that you wanted to say that maybe I didn't ask you or we didn't talk about?
I think the one thing that really comes up for me when we talk about this or anything is that we always want to follow our dreams.
Mhm.
It's never too late. Our dream is never too big. It's
Mhm.
always possible, and we never want to give up on ourselves or our dreams, no matter how old we are or no matter how big the dream is. I think that that's the biggest thing that I would love for women to focus on, that anything is possible. If you can dream it or create it in your brain, like if it's in here, you can create it in your world, in your reality.
100% agree, because I always say it's if it's not your dream, you don't even think about it. Like if you can't create it, you don't even think about it, right? I don't think about wanting to be an astronaut because it's not like something I want, therefore I probably can't be an astronaut, right? But the things that I come up with, for me, you're right, whomever said that, if you can dream it, you can achieve it, type of thing.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, so I just agree with that.
Mm.
Like I think that if we can conceptualize or even think about something, we will figure out a way to create it once we really set our mind to it. even if it's step by step, slowly, we can do it. Agreed.
That's fantastic. Now, like, are you in the middle of a hip hop class? Like, have you
Yeah, like
started it?
oh yeah. I've been going since like September.
Yeah. And do you love it?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. It's so good. Isn't that
Yeah.
good? And you would never have known that you love this hip hop class if you wouldn't have tried it just once.
Well, yeah, 100%. Because I didn't do it before. I've never done it before.
Yeah.
I did some dance, but not hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. I was actually like that with surfing. My friend said, "Hey, come and surf with me," because I'm in Canada and it's like freezing cold. It was never on my brain. And I said, "If you come play on my soccer team, I'll come surf with you." So I went and surfed with her and I fell in love with surfing. And it was never even a possibility until I tried it that one time, right?
Mhm.
So sometimes you gotta maybe kiss a lot of frogs, or you gotta try things that you don't like until you find something that you absolutely love and you're like,
Mhm.
why didn't I try this before?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That was great. Okay. So we will come back in each next week and the following week, and we'll talk about, a little bit of maybe healthy nutrition and some good habits just for the sake of International Women's Month. And how can we take care of ourselves and help ourselves to achieve those dreams, to go after whatever we want, and not to feel good, so we can, even if we have those thoughts that like, oh, it's too late for me, or I'm too old and so on, not to be able to overcome it because you're feeling at your best and you're like, doesn't
Mhm.
matter, I have a long way to go. I'm gonna go for whatever I want.
Yeah, and I'm
Okay.
doing this because I can't wait. Like I want to talk about all those things that you just mentioned. I'm like so excited. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions to us or you want us to talk about anything specific, Heather is a life coach who helps women master midwife. I'm a business coach. So whatever in those realms, if you want us to talk about, let us know.
Yeah,
Okay.
reach out to us.
Bye.
Have a fabulous day.
Thanks. Bye.